I think it's time to stop coping and accept that KSI has actually left the Sidemen. I know a lot of people, me included, were just throwing out a million different copes and just not believing that any of this could be real because the timing of all of this was just so odd. I mean, it was right after Arsenal lost to PSG in penalties for the Champions League finals, so I just thought that it was a really messed up forfeit by one of his friends, or a prank, or a really, really bad marketing scheme for something. So we waited and waited and waited. And then the Sidemen posted on their socials. And I still believed it was like a long drawn out prank. But for what? What could it be for? I was just waiting for Harry to drop another diss track within a few hours, but nothing. Then news articles started coming out with BBC saying they spoke to a spokesperson and they confirmed it. And then people across social media just started reacting to this news. But I was still in full copium because, not to sound super parasocial, but I've been watching the Sidemen from almost since they began. And I've seen this happen before and went through the great diss track war, which I totally didn't fall for as a gullible child. You can't prove that. But the last time that he made a video announcing that he's leaving the Sidemen, he ended it with the teaser for his diss track. And then right after, Ethan dropped his diss track, and the whole diss track war started that everyone still talks about like it's the holy grail of YouTube. And in this one, when I first watched it, it really looked like he was holding in his laughter. And then towards the end, he literally does the 6-7 meme. But as I watched it again, just trying to cope with this, I felt like he sounded just a lot more sincere. And it wasn't really him holding in his laughter. It was him holding back tears. And then his brother reacted to the video and he said the same thing, but I was still kind of in copium mode. But leading up to this, in a lot of interviews, he said that a lot of changes were coming soon and that he wanted to prioritize family over everything. Like in the Baller League's final, when he won Baller League, he said in the interview that exact thing.
I know things might change in the future, but trust me, I did this for myself, for my family, for everything.
And obviously, throughout the past year, he was focusing a lot more on solo content. And say what you want about it, obviously it's not for everyone, but it is pretty high quality content, all things considered. I mean, when you have so much money to throw around, like you literally have no care in the world for money. You're set for life. You could spend $1 million a month and still be set for life. Of course, you'd make videos this high quality and this big budget. But he has stated that he's passionate about this. He's not just doing this for the numbers or the money. I would assume that since he's achieved it all, multi-millionaire, successful businessman, and a million other things, he just needs another goal in life. So I guess growing his YouTube channel to as big as it could be is what he's trying to achieve.
So then for me to come back into YouTube, a lot of people didn't think it was real. A lot of people thought it was just like a blip, a flash in the pan. And then they've just seen me consistently post every Monday over and over and over and over again. And it's crazy. I feel like I've got my spark back. I feel like I've got my spark back. I feel like creatively I'm just vibrant again. I feel like I'm coming up with sick ideas.
But at the end of the day, he is an adult. He can make his own decisions, where he wants to stay, where he doesn't, what he wants to prioritize now and what he doesn't. He has been in the Sidemen for 13 years, guys. And he's achieved everything anyone would ever want in life. And whenever you heard him talking about his schedule, it would be the most jam-packed thing ever. I wish I could pull up the exact video, but I remember him talking about how he only had like one day off in like 6 months, one true day off. And he just sounded way more exhausted in his KSI Plus channel, where it would be more lax videos.
But JJ's schedule is go here, this time, 1 p.m, 3 p.m, 5 p.m, 7 p.m, 9 p.m, doing different things all around London. Every single day. Every single day.
So, although it did come out of nowhere, the writing was on the wall that he would do a big change. No one could have called that he would have left the Sidemen, but the Sidemen, from what I could assume, just takes so much time. It's not just the main Sidemen channel. It's more Sidemen, Side Plus, Inside, Escape Strategy, and all the other variety shows that they're doing. That is a lot of his time. And if you've been noticing, the Sidemen have been setting themselves up to be a variety channel. More and more, the actual Sidemen are acting as hosts or background characters, especially in the latest Sidemen Tinder. They just weren't a part of it. And they've launched new games like Exit Strategy, their cooking show, obviously Inside. They're setting up all these things to have the Sidemen brand, but for them to not be a part of it. They're setting up a literal exit strategy for them to leave their channel, work on the background, and just have other people star in their shows. So eventually, obviously KSI is the first, but eventually all of them will leave technically. I mean, this had to happen someday. You weren't really gonna see a 70-year-old mini mentor just going around doing a $10 versus $10,000 holiday. Like, at some point you have to stop. But again, it was just really bad timing. The video drop really did seem like a forfeit that Ethan set up for him. And it also dropped right when Ethan and Toby were playing in Soccer Aid, the biggest charity soccer or football, I don't know who's going to be watching this video. I don't know. The biggest charity sporting event, or one of the biggest charity sporting events in the UK. And it overshadowed such a huge achievement with this humongous news, honestly. Because up until like just a few years ago, KSI was the biggest draw of the Sidemen. Harry was a close second, but you have to admit that KSI was the main reason the group worked out as well as it did. Obviously, they're now the biggest that they've ever been, so they don't need the pull that KSI has. And that's probably also why KSI felt that he could finally step out, because his friends have also achieved this mega stardom and he doesn't have to help them out. I don't know. But this departure also felt very mismanaged, going as far as the official statement from the Sidemen saying that it was a surprise. So this could very well be a giant dick move from KSI, where maybe he just wanted to get out of this as fast as possible without looking at the ramifications of all of this. Because right after he went on Speed Stream and he was just setting up a video shoot, or that could be before, I couldn't find a timestamp on this. But at the end of the day, as sad as I am, as sad as millions of other people are, it is his own decision, and people need to accept that. If he wants to focus on his own content, he can, and you guys need to learn to accept that. Because Jesus fucking Christ, if you go through his Reddit, it's like he committed mass genocide with this announcement. I can't lie, bro. I'm done with KSI's BS YouTube videos. I hope he realizes soon how lame he's been acting recently for the past few months. This is next level delusion, bro. He can't even pull Sidemen level views currently. This is clearly the yes man. Let's just ignore KSI. Finally, I've got zero reason to support this washed Mr. Beast and Logan Paul best friend. Read. Like, guys, take a shower, touch grass. Take a shower and then touch grass. Like, sorry to say, but he owes you guys nothing. You can say his content is bad and not for you, but to hate to this degree is just unhealthy. Please take a step back, or a few steps back, and see what you are so emotional about. A grown man making a decision to leave a group publicly. Not to throw all his friends away in a giant frenzy, but to stop publicly appearing in a group, and you guys are treating it as if he killed everyone around him or he blew a whole country up. He just won't be an active part of the front-facing Sidemen. Slowly but surely they will all leave, but just because KSI made his statements like he wants to rival Mr. Beast and that he's prioritizing his family, some of you are saying the most hateful things I've ever read in the name of being a fan. I love all these hate messages starting with, I'm a fan of KSI. I wouldn't wish these types of fans on anyone. You'll live. All right, bye.